Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a beautiful Wednesday morning, a day for golf. You're going to get a chance to get out and do some practicing today. And the show's coming to you from Ontario, Canada. Saying that for our first-time viewers, which is great. We're getting many viewers every day, brand new people coming on board. So appreciate you coming on board. But that's also where the show comes from, Ontario, Canada in the summer, and then Florida, right around Orlando in the wintertime. So that's where you're hearing from us. Also want to mention our website, ultimatesportschannel.com. Go to the website. We have a full sports feed every day. Brand new information, brand new sports, way more than we can cover here. So if you go to the website, you get all the sports you want, other podcasts by other sportscasters in the business, and also all of our sponsors, which you're also seeing right behind us. And so we appreciate it if you can support them. They're supporting the show. It's a really big deal to us, so we really appreciate that. But Joey, PGA, second week of Fedex Cup. We're into the final stretches here, 2 weeks to go, and it's all over. Man. And but this golf course is really special because of what happened in 2012.
First of all, Medina is just a well-recognized golf course all across states. If you really honestly mention it to anybody, they'll have a good idea of the golf course. Out in Illinois, they're very popular. First of all, great slate of golf course the PGA got for the Fedex Cup.
Yeah.
Last week, all the guys loved it. Famous course out in New Jersey there, and now they go to Chicago, Illinois. But Medina was the home of the Ryder Cup in 2012, which was the biggest comeback, tied for the biggest comeback in Ryder Cup history. The Euros did it to the Americans this time around. Lots of great moments of this Ryder Cup. I remember it really, really well watching it. I believe you weren't with me. I was calling you, I think, with updates. But, it was truly something special. And, you had the moments the day before. You had kind of the overnight stuff. You even had the fact that in round one, Rory was late for his tee time and had to get a police escort. It was also when Bubba was the first player to kind of allow the crowd to cheer while he hit his first tee shot. It was one of those really crazy weeks, and there's so many memories just from that week alone that it's hard to duplicate. But, you had the Keegan Bradley and Phil Mickelson duo just going nuts. You had, like I said, Rory late for his tee. And then on Saturday, you had Ian Poulter going the greatest run of golf I've maybe ever seen, putting McIlroy on his back. And then come Sundays, they came back. They made the comeback, after their captain, Jose Maria Othalbo, believed in them, talked about Seve being there with them, and coming back to win this Ryder Cup was something special. They were able to get it done, and Martin Kaymer making the final putt to do that.
Well, and I thought the funniest part was that years ago when Ben Crenshaw led the American comeback on the Saturday night, he pointed at the camera saying, "I have a feeling." And Othalbo did the same thing. So it was pretty funny, pretty cool to do. And then they did come back. That was the amazing part of it. So lots of great feelings for lots of guys, lots of unhappy feelings for the Americans, the way they dropped the ball there and on their own soil, which is typically, if they've won Ryder Cups, it's been in America.
Yeah, they don't win over in Europe. That was a tough
one. They almost never win in Europe, but maybe haven't won at all.
I mean, the crowd, like I said, it was such a great and big moment because when you do something like in Illinois and in Chicago, like the fans are crazy. I mean, they're nuts. I mean, and really it was such a big lead and going into singles, which is the American thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, everything kind of set up for the fact, and sadly Seve died the year before, so it was the first Ryder Cup since Seve Ballesteros' death, and then you have the captain Jose Maria Othalbo, who's so close to him.
Yeah.
Sadly, you can just...
that countryman,
I mean, unfortunately, it's sad that brings sometimes you together, but you can see something like this happening. It just seemed like a week where something magical was meant to happen, and it did for the Euros. I remember the big putt by Justin Rose on 17 there. It was like a 50-footer. He made it. Like I said, remember Poulter on Saturday.
Like Leonard did back when the Americans did it.
Yeah, and then Kaymer, like I said, on 18, who actually had played pretty bad golf after so many majors and stuff like that. And then even people still remember Tiger forfeiting the match to Molinari, which people thought was interesting, but I think that was a good move by Tiger so they can start the celebration. It was just some sort of weekend, and obviously very upsetting for the American side, but what a comeback for the Euros and what a momentous moment for them.
Yeah, it was for sure, and it leads into this week because there can't be more storylines than we got going this week.
Back at the course,
we're down to top 70s. This is the thing about this 3-week compressed schedule, man. They dropped down quick, 125, down to 70, down to 30. So this is a big week for a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that are on the bubble. Joey, we're going to talk about that a little bit. And we do want to cover as well the slow play issue. So we're going to cover that after we go through this part.
Yeah.
And then we also have a wagering show. We've had a lot of fans asking us to do a wagering show, but they don't want to listen to everything else about the tournament. They just want the wagers. So we're going to do a separate show on that. And we'll get into that in a moment. But let's talk about moving in and out. There's a lot of guys within like 100 points. It's amazing to me. Like when you look even as far down, Andrew Putnam is number 30, and he's sitting at 1,100 points. And you go down all the way to, let's say, Billy Horschel at 39, who has 990 points. He's only 100 points out. That doesn't take much in these FedEx Cup with the amount of points they're getting.
There's going to be a lot of movement.
Past that,
and
right?
as we know, they quadruple the points for the FedEx Cup event.
Yeah, so it doesn't take much.
There'll be a lot of movement. The only reason why it takes a lot this week is there's no cut. So everyone's hanging around. So, you could be like last place, honestly, going in the weekend and put some big scores up there. And then next thing you know, you're easily making it into the top 30 and moving on to the Tour Championship.
So you're literally only going to have to be like 20th, and the other guy finishes 70th. And you're going to get, you might move up, right?
Yeah, but it is going to be tight, though. I mean, like, that's what I mean. And you're not eliminating people. I mean, last week, if you're a guy who was maybe just behind the number, you see a guy ahead of you miss the cut, you go, okay, thank God he ain't going to move. I can know what I need to do. You're never going to know what you need to do, because anyone, even on Sunday, last week's going to Sunday, shooting 62, we know in golf, that moves you so far up the leaderboard, because guys always struggle every day, and guys always do well. It's just the way it is. So,
well, and look at last week, we had some huge moves last week when we had, what's his name? I'm losing him now. Sorry. Abraham Answer, and he moves from 67 to 8th place. So there's guys even 75th right now that could easily get inside the top 30 if they have the kind of week he did.
Well, you can't be 75th and move inside the top 30 because they're not playing. But the 70th, I mean, obviously we know this. I mean, Patrick
you're on my case all the time.
Patrick Reed went from 50th to second. I mean, you look at Varner's move, you look at Spieth's move.
So any kind of top 10 finish is going to move you enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Varner, 102 to 29.
Everyone's crunched in. There's no cut this week. I mean, there's no one finishing 125th. So it's going to be tight. But it's going to be a fun week. It's going to be the last week where every putt matters, and they're going to show you math. They're going to show you projected numbers. It's going to be a busy week. It's going to be lots of fun. But it's the last week of this, because obviously Tour Championship now they just start with numbers, so it's going to be a lot of fun. This golf course, like I said, is a great golf course to hold it on. Should be a great event, and all the big names are out. Obviously, I mean, last 2 events.
And speaking of big names, Tiger Woods, number 38, dropped 10 spots last week, so he's outside the top 30. You've got Billy Horschel, who won the FedEx Cup before. He's at number 39. You've got Poulter at 43. You got Spieth at 44. Mickelson at 46. Jim Furyk at 48. Ryan Moore at 49. Jason Day 50. So there's a star-packed group in that 30 to 50 range.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
this could be huge this week.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of guys or guys.
If you're in the top 30 of the FedEx Cup, I believe you're a star as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's some guys out there, and I have some guys I believe are going to move in. I'll talk about on the betting show. Yeah. But I have some guys I feel like will move in. But yeah, I mean, you can lose start games. I mean, sadly, if you really cared, I mean, Phil, honestly, I don't think he has any chance, and it's because of his age. At 47 years old, it's impressive, to be honest, to be in the top 70 still at FedEx Cup. I don't think Tiger will have a good week, although I hope he can maybe find some magic. Maybe he can find the magic pain med or the magic chiropractor that can crack him the right way before Thursday. He's going to get worked on right up till his tee time. I don't think he's putting in a ton of practice.
Well, he's got the best medical advice going. So if he can't make it,
we'll see.
It's impossible to make it.
I also know his medical team will not force him to risk it so he has another surgery or something along those lines. I think every injury nowadays for him will be short pain, and it'll be what he wants to put up with, really, when it comes down to it. And I really think, this week he might tough it out because there's no cut. He might think all I got to do is maybe have a couple good rounds, finish, you said that, top 30 in the tournament could probably move him up 8 spots.
Yeah,
so
with all the spots.
You got to expect the top 30 players in the top 30 right now. Some of them's going to be really bad. It's just the way it is every week.
Even without a cut, somebody's going to finish last.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
depends who it is.
I think you'll see him tough it out. I know he wants to make Tour Champion because he's defending.
Yeah.
And it's weird to have Tiger not at an event that he's defending. So I think there's something in that nature for him to want to give it a shot. I think if there's a cut this week, I don't think you even see him play. I think in the old schedule, with 4 weeks to go, you wouldn't see him play. So, because he would still in theory move on, because it would only been, there'd still be 100 guys this week. Yeah. So, I think it's the system that's going to force him to play. I think he'll give it a shot. Hopefully he can do something. I know as fans, we all want him to be in the Tour Championship, have a chance at it. He's actually the one guy that probably hates the new system.
Yeah.
No week off before the Tour Championship.
Right.
He couldn't take a week off. Well, he could have maybe taken week 1 off, but before you definitely could have taken week 1. He probably could have taken week 1 and week 2 off.
Yeah.
Now you can't do that. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. Like I said, Medina, Illinois crowds, tons of people will be there. It's one of the most known courses in America. They really hit the jackpot. I think finishing before football was smart. They got no competition this weekend. I think it'll be a great week. And please, 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 can we get a mother effing playoff? Like, my God. I'm sorry, but I want something close. It's driving me nuts. And even
Sundays have not been exciting.
Even this week, and people, like I said, they just didn't feel it. I'm not getting the excitement going. And this week might have been overshadowed by the pace of play and everything else going on. I didn't even care about the tournament. I was actually disgusted with it. Yeah. It felt like the LA Lakers out there with all the drama and stuff that I couldn't even focus on Patrick Reed and what was going on. And you know, it was all about John Rahm's temper. In fact, I feel bad for Reed. He didn't get much of the credit. It was all about John Rahm the whole time on TV there. So, you know, interesting week coming up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be very exciting. And so let's, we're going to address player movement, all that kind of stuff in a big way in the sports wagering show. But let's talk about slow play. It has been the topic all week. If it's not been all year, it certainly was this past week with a number of the guys having problems with DeChambeau. His statements coming out about wanting to help the situation makes me laugh. Because he
play faster,
really,
bro.
it's not that hard as Brooks says, just play faster.
Dude.
But let's look at a couple of things that have happened in the past. There's one thing right off the bat. There's rules in place to stop this. So there's no one to blame but PGA, not DeChambeau, because, you know, in every single sport, this is unusual in golf because there's not a lot of politics in golf. Guys don't do things on purpose to bother other guys, not like hockey and other sports
so
where
many
you bend every rule
There's
you
so
can.
many rules officials like live that it's hard. Like, you're never going to see a fight over are you cheating or not, because guess what? There's just rules officials on every hole. So golf eliminates a lot of the drama. That's one of why it's my favorite sports. I could truly watch golf and typically enjoy the sport for what it is. Even tennis, they complain throughout the whole entire match. You know, football, all this stuff. But this week, like I said, that's why I hated this week in golf. It's all been about this pace of play. And the stuff coming out of some players' mouths pissed me off. And more importantly, I have not seen the PGA Tour step up, and that angers me the most. You have rules. A commissioner right now should do a press conference and said, all we're going to do is enforce our rules.
Exactly.
And that would solve every issue. There's a 40-second shot clock in the rules of golf. Just needs to be enforced. We don't need Brooks and Bryson having a conversation on the putting green. We don't need them on a radio station.
Well, we don't need
battling,
Thomas walking off the green in a game, actual round.
And basically in a crouch looking like this and going,
and
oh my God.
His watch and all this stuff.
You don't need this. So I'm upset mostly at the PGA Tour, and no one's addressed it actually towards the. They've said they need to address the rules, but I'd be calling out the commissioner right now. Get to it, man. Handle this situation. It's bad for golf that golfers are arguing because that's not what golf is. Golf is an integrity sport. It's meant to be about just playing golf. There's normally not much drama at all because there's so many cameras and people that you know you can't cheat, you can't try to cheat, you just can't do much wrong in golf, and this is something that's been an issue this week, and I hope it goes away before the tournament, because I want a good tournament, and I want it to be about the tournament.
I agree 100%. I think they've kind of got it done amongst the players.
It sounds like it.
Some way to get DeChambeau to speed up. However, let's go back. There is a history here, and Garcia brought it up this week. You know, he used to re-grip his hands like 30 times or something, and they told him to stop it. Like, this is back in the day of sports where it wasn't about this equal thing and don't upset people and all this other crap. This was about the PGA is in charge of the PGA. They should go to DeChambeau just like they went to Garcia. Kevin Na used to hold the club over the ball for like forever.
And swing over top of it.
2 or 3 swings over the top and then stop, and he couldn't even make a swing because of anxiety. Whatever his issues were, they said solve those issues or you're off the tour.
Yeah.
Like they own the tour. So DeChambeau, just go faster.
Yeah,
we don't need faster, we don't need any other solution. And then the other rule has to be changed, and probably will be this year because Thomas mentioned it too. You and I have dealt with this because you're a fast player. They put the grouping on the clock, and this is just totally wrong. This is what upsets players when some guy's going slow. Eventually, they're going to be on the clock. I forget which four. It was the final twosome was on the clock last week.
What a joke!
And they're
now that's when you enforce the rule.
And they're playing for the championship. Instead, you go to DeChambeau, tell him that he's on the clock. He's going to get the penalty, not his partners on his grouping. And that's all you have to do is penalize these guys' strokes. It's simple as that.
And again, it should not be a group thing. I hate that. We've had this problem on lower level tours as well. It's not a group, guys. And even they were talking about on TV how the Canadian Amateur has a group thing that you have to reach.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if it's not my fault? I'm going to lose my mind. So it's got to be, first of all, every player knows these players. That's what bugs me the most. So the PGA Tour also knows these players. It's not a mystery. Yeah. So come on, man. Just put a guy in the group, watch that player, tell him to hurry the hell up. more importantly, and I think it was Brooks who said too, when he was talking about, well, this, that, he goes, well, if you played fast, you wouldn't have those issues because you wouldn't be thinking as much.
Have to think so much.
Have you noticed the best players in the world play fast?
Yeah.
So, come on, it's not helping you. It's not helping others. Let's go. But more importantly, the PGA Tour, and this is the first time I've been really disappointed because he nailed the schedule change. He nailed the tournaments kind of that followed majors. I felt like he won the Fedex Cup. A great job. But this is something that he should step out on and go, okay, we know the players. They've been singled out. We're going to enforce penalties on them if they don't speed up. It's not a group thing. And that's what angers me the most. And then you try to make an example by putting the final group of the tournament on the clock. You gotta remember, the DeChambeau thing that makes it so ridiculous was it was a Friday.
Yeah.
Like, that's more ridiculous. And that bugs me more. But Patrick Reed and Abraham Hansen should not have been put on the clock for the final group of the tournament. That was a joke.
But a stroke's a stroke. Doesn't matter if it's Friday or Sunday. But the issue is they just got to deal with it. It's very simple. So 2 rule changes for next year, and we'll get off this topic because everybody's talking. They've made a mistake in giving them a booklet on reading the greens because now these guys spend more time with that book in their hands trying to read a green than they did when they just used their own eyes to read a putt. Secondly, they have to give these guys the distance finders. Simple. They spend most of their time talking to their caddy about yardage. You know what? Just give them the goddamn yardage. They're going to figure it out anyway.
Well, if they don't want to penalize players and focus on this as a rule enforcement type of situation, then those are the solutions.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, give them whatever the hell you want. Take away whatever you want. If you just enforce the penalty, like, they'll use it to what time they have. Like, so it depends on which way the PGA Tour wants to go. PGA Tour do they want it handled through ideas like that? So the players just speed up because of the information they get is naturally they're going to speed up? Or do they just want to make it more simple as far as I'm concerned and say, you have all these things, but whatever, you have 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's really the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I think most guys would agree on that side of it. Don't take away the books. Don't add rangefinders. I mean, you can do it as well. I've always been a fan of rangefinders and no green reading book because, my God, I saw one of these books. No wonder they can putt. And now I'm more embarrassed for DJ and Roy than before. But in my mind, you just got to single these guys out and put them on the clock and make them go and give them penalties. I mean, they would understand.
That's how you stop a problem is a
value
penalty,
of a stroke.
right?
They know the value of a stroke, and when they get one,
well, look at other sports like in hockey when they want to get rid of fighting. It was simple: give guys 20-game suspensions, they'll stop fighting. Same thing here. DeChambeau, if he wants to suffer and try and win a tournament with a 2-stroke penalty on a regular basis, he'll stop doing it.
Well, and guess what? You know what I mean?
Plain and simple.
We complain about this, but the one thing NFL, NHL, all these other leagues that have teams do. When they want a new rule enforced, what do? They overdo it to prove a point. And I like that because then guess what? It does go down. And in the NHL, they had a face-off rule. And they put guys in the penalty box for breaking this rule. And people were losing minds. But guess what? In the regular season came, no one cheated on a face-off anymore. In golf, same thing. All you need to do quickly next year. I wouldn't even do it these weeks. Hopefully, DeChambeau and these guys just hear the message for these last 2 weeks.
But they'll fall back. That's just a fact of life.
I know, but I'm saying it's a FedEx Cup. I hope it's not happening.
No, get to the start of next year.
Get to start next year. The first early events, which, by the way, for the bigger players aren't a big deal. I hate to say that because I know for rookies it's a big deal, but for these guys, not a big deal. And if DeChambeau plays like the Vegas event or the Santa Fe Open, like just penalize them a bunch of times and prove your point. That's all you got to do. League sports have proven this. NFL does it. NBA, NHL, they hammer them like crazy, then they lay off it.
Hey, look at the new helmet rule in the NFL. They just said everybody has to wear it. And when Brown has tried to threaten them,
tough on
they just said don't play.
Yeah, they got tough.
We don't care.
And DeChambeau, guess what? If you don't have a problem, the PGA Tour say, well, then don't play. Like, that's your fault. Or we're going to penalize you a bunch of times if you don't play. You got to put it on the one player because it comes down to, and I always joked about it in school, but it's true. It's not. You shouldn't be blame everyone else for the weakest link.
Exactly.
And that's the same in golf right now. You're blaming everyone else for a couple guys that just need to speed up. So that's our opinion. And it's a passionate one right now because it's affecting what is the great game of golf, the integrity of golf, and what should be an enjoyable sport you watch on the weekend, and you watch great guys go head-to-head for a big purse, and that's what it should be about.
And the commentary should be about who's going to win the tournament.
Well, that's true. And Nick Faldo's good at it. I'll give Nick Faldo credit. He does not harp on it.
Yeah.
He moves on quickly, but it's become an issue. And to put the final group on the clock last week was a joke because they knew it was. I knew it. It was just in response to what happened to.
Well, and they were also, this is the last group. They should never be on the clock because they're the ones fighting for the tournament. So anyway, that's just some thoughts on that. We're gonna go on to our wagering show. Everybody enjoy the golf this week. Should be super exciting. All your top players are there.
So.
It's down to the top 30. So there's a lot of important golf happening. There's a lot.
Come on, Spieth.
A a lot of money at stake, and getting to that final one. If someone's going to win the most money in the history of golf in the final weekend, $15 million. So this should be an awesome next couple of weeks. And this week will be, again, the one with the in the green, in the red, in the green, in the red. Every time they hit it, they made a stroke, they moved to the green. They missed a stroke, they moved to the red. So the guys on the bubble, it'll be real fun to watch that tournament. So enjoy it. We'll be back Saturday morning, as always, with our not cut show. But how we might feel about a difference and who might win.
Someone's gonna have to update his picks.
And update Friday, and then we're back Monday with a recap show. So we'll talk to you Saturday morning. We're gonna go ahead and do our wagering show now, and we'll talk golf then.